Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Today, I want to explain why I believe that people should not be required to get a COVID shot. But before I start my presentation, I would like to ask you a few questions. When you hear the word volunteering, what do you imagine?
I imagine some good things for free, without salary, to do that from your heart,
Absolutely.
to help somebody.
Yeah, that's true.
No forcing.
No forcing or small income or a small income. And could you tell me if volunteering can apply to yourself?
Do we volunteer?
If you something people, probably maybe people do for you, like a volunteering,
Yeah.
or if you know another meaning of the word volunteering. No?
I volunteer, and my husband volunteers, and some people volunteer to do things for me, and there's no money exchanged, no forcing.
Yeah, thank you. To start my presentation, I want to give you another meaning of the word volunteering. As stated in Charter of Rights and Freedom, Section 7, everyone has the right to life, liberty and security. It's volunteering. I might be wrong, but this applies to the opportunity to be vaccinated by effective vaccine. Probably. And I want to add that this should be left only as an option for us, without any pressure, manipulation, or restriction. Why? Because even though the vaccination against SARS-CoV-2 is reasonably effective in majority of cases, it's obvious that it can help and that it could have many side effects. For example, joint pain, mild fever, chills, just like any other medicine, but also serious symptoms like thrombosis or anaphylaxis, which can cause death. And what I want to add is that even after vaccination, as far as I know, it's possible to get sick and spread the virus around. For my next point, I want to talk about for whom the vaccination is useful. It's certain that we all have an immune system which protects us from infections. Every time when we get sick and manage the disease, it makes our immunity stronger. Unfortunately, there are several things that negatively affect our immunity. For example, physical and mental fatigue, unhealthy eating, alcohol, smoking, and stress. Based on these facts, in the first group for whom the vaccination is useful are obese and metabolically unhealthy people who had destroyed their immunity because of their lifestyle. In the second group are older people because our immunity is getting weaker with age. However, I'm convinced that all these endangered people have the right to freely decide whether they want to be vaccinated or not. To illustrate my point, let me show you this Canadian statistic, which is taken from December 2020, when the vaccination started, till September 2022. The first number represents the amount of people who died, and they were not vaccinated. The second number represents the amount of people who died and they were vaccinated. As you can see, the numbers are almost identical. And what I want to point out is that all these people died with COVID, and it's not proven that they died from COVID. One last thing I want to say, it's no doubt that forced vaccination can have a negative impact on our lives, such as economic, social, and even healthcare. Let me give you an example. It's a well-known fact that a lot of healthcare workers had to leave their jobs because they refused to be vaccinated. And because of that, I believe that the quality of healthcare decreased. Another is concrete experience of my friend. My friend from Vancouver, who worked as a teacher for almost 30 years, had to leave her job because she refused to get a COVID shot. And even though the pandemic seems to be quieting down, she's still not allowed to return to her job because her school hasn't changed its rules. In conclusion, although the vaccination against SARS-CoV-2 seems like a great solution to prevent illness with serious symptoms, it still should be up to each of us to decide whether we want to be vaccinated or not. And our decision should be respected. Thank you for listening.
Very good.